Most creators think 1000 views pay the same for everyone, but they are wrong. In 2026, the gap between what YouTube pays is massive. While some grind 80 hours a week for the $1 RPM, others bank $50 for the exact same traffic. I'm Afonso, and in this video, I'm opening my 7-figure AdSense accounts to show you the real numbers. I'll be revealing the goldmine niches advertisers target and an 8-minute hack to double your revenue instantly. Stick around because at the end of the video, I'll be revealing a hidden strategy that 99% of creators ignore. This is how much YouTube pays in 2026. First, we have the RPM revolution. The reality is, you can't actually predict your income if you're calculating it the wrong way. The first mistake is multiplying your views by a random number you heard from some fake guru who's never actually shown their own results. When you open your dashboard, the numbers won't add up because you're looking at the wrong metric. This happens because you're likely looking at CPM when you should be obsessed with RPM. Let's keep this simple. CPM, or cost per mile, is what advertisers are paying YouTube to show ads on your videos, but you don't get all of the money. YouTube takes a 45% cut right off the top. What actually lands in your bank account is your RPM, so your revenue per mile. This is the only number that matters because it tells you exactly how much you earn per 1000 views after YouTube took their share. Based on my research across dozens of channels, I found that the average creator is making between $5 and $10 per 1000 views. But here's where it gets crazy. If you are in a low-intent niche like pranks or general gaming, your RPM might be as low as $1 or even $2 in YouTube Partner Program. That means to make a full-time income, you need millions of views every single month just to survive. However, on the other side of the fence, in high-intent niches like finance, business, or real estate, we are seeing RPMs hitting $30 or even $50. But I don't want you to just take my word for it. Let's jump into my AdSense account so I can show you the real data. I'm using one of my monetized blogs as an example because the AdSense auction works exactly the same way. Advertisers bid on the person and the niche, not just the format of the content. Look at this massive gap. In tier 1 countries like the US, UK, or even Germany, we see average RPMs hitting the $100 mark. But the moment that same traffic comes for tier 2 and tier 3 countries, those numbers crash to an average of just $15. It's a completely different league, and you need to understand the exact same logic applies to YouTube. While the specific numbers on YouTube might scale differently depending on your niche, the proportions remain the same. A viewer in a wealthy economy is worth significantly more to advertisers than a viewer elsewhere. If you aren't targeting the right locations, you are leaving the majority of your potential revenue on the table. But location is only half of the battle. To truly maximize your earnings, you have to layer that traffic with high-intent content, which leads us to the high-intent 2026 goldmine. YouTube matches advertisers with the audience most likely to buy them. This makes your niche the single most important financial decision of your YouTube career. Think about Apple. They sell $1,000 iPhones. Because their profit margin is high, they'll pay a premium to be in front of someone watching a best business tools video. Now compare that to a company selling a $3 bag of chips. They can't afford to pay $30 to reach 1,000 people. They'll lose money. That's why entertainment and gaming channels usually have low RPMs. They attract a broad audience, but not an audience ready to spend big. Now, if you want to be on the winning side of this race in 2026, you need to be in a high-intent niche. These are categories where the viewer has a specific problem they are willing to pay to solve. Here's the current goldmine list for 2026, so feel free to take a screenshot of this. So we have finance and investing, then we have make money online and business, technology videos, health and insurance, real estate and legal, and high-end travel. In these niches, it's common to see RPMs 10 times higher than the platform average. But even if you've picked already your niche and it's not on the list, don't worry, there is a technical hack that can double your earnings regardless of what you talk about. It all comes down to the length of your videos. The 8-minute revenue hack. On YouTube, there's a massive paywall at exactly the 8-minute mark. If your video is 7 minutes and 59 seconds, YouTube usually only allows one ad at the beginning and at the end. But the second you cross the 8-minute mark, you unlock the ability to place mid-roll ads. This means you can manually choose to put multiple ad breaks through your video. Think about this. If you have one ad at the start, you get paid once, but if you have a 10-minute video and you strategically place an ad at the 2, 5, and 8-minute marks, you've just tripled the potential revenue from a single viewer. A lot of creators get this wrong by filling their videos with fluff just to hit that 8-minute mark. But in 2026, the algorithm is far too smart for that. If your audience drops off at a minute 3 because they're bored, those mid-roll ads at minute 6 will never be seen and you won't earn a single cent. The secret is to provide constant value. Use this 8 minutes to actually solve a problem or to entertain deeply. I recommend placing your ads every 2 or 3 minutes, ideally right after you've teased a big revelation or finished a key point. This keeps the viewer engaged enough to see through the ad to get the next nugget of info. When you combine a high-paying niche with 8-minute rule, you start seeing the kind of numbers that most people think are impossible. But to really believe it, you need to see how these look in the real world compared to the viral channels everyone obsesses for. Now, if you're finding this breakdown valuable, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps me keep providing this content for free, and it ensures you are on the side when I launch our YouTube automation community. I'll be teaching you everything from hitting your first 100,000 subscribers to making money before you are even monetized. So with that in mind, let's look at 2 real examples to show you exactly how the math plays out. Case study: the YouTube paradox. First, we have a channel called Tech Zone. They create high-quality videos about gadgets and future tech, the kind of content that is designed to go viral. Right now, they are pulling in around 1.1 million views per month. With an estimated RPM of $10, which is actually decent for the tech entertainment niche, this channel is bringing in about $11,000 a month in AdSense revenue. For most people, that's a dream income, but look at how much work goes into getting over 1 million people to click every single month. Now let's look at a much smaller channel, Greg Gottfried. Greg focuses on business, side hustles, and AI tools. He's currently getting paid around 368,000 views per month. That is 3 times less traffic than Tech Zone. However, because his niche is high intent business, his RPM is sitting at $30. When you do the math, Greg is making over $11,000 a month in AdSense alone. This is the perfect example of the YouTube paradox. Greg is reaching 700,000 fewer people than Tech Zone, yet he is taking home the exact same paycheck. He has less stress, fewer comments to manage, and a much more target audience. But here's the real kicker. While these AdSense numbers are great, they are actually the smallest part of the story. Because if you know the secret I'm about to share next, you'll realize that Greg is likely making 5 to 10 times more than that $11,000. And it has nothing to do with YouTube ads, the $200 RPM strategy. If you only rely on AdSense, you are essentially leaving 90% of your potential money on the table. The biggest creators on YouTube, they are waiting for a check from Google every single month. They use their views to build a backhand. Imagine this. You have a channel that gets exactly 1,000 views on a video. In a high-paying niche, YouTube pays you $30. Not bad, right? But what if in that same video, you recommended a software tool for an affiliate link that pays you a $50 commission? If just 2 people out of just 1,000 buy it, you just made an extra $100. Suddenly, your earnings per 1,000 views didn't stay at $30. They jumped to $130. Now, let's take it to a step further. The digital product. This is where Greg really wins. If you sell your own $200 course or a $50 digital template and only one person buys it for every 1,000 views, you are now operating at a $200 to $300 RPM. This is exactly how tiny channels with just 20,000 subscribers are generating 6-figure incomes. You see, they don't need millions of views because they've shifted their focus. Instead of selling attention to advertisers for pennies, they are selling direct solutions to their audience. To make this work, you need to leverage what I call the holy trinity of monetization in 2026. So it starts with AdSense, which acts as your base passive income. From there, you layer in affiliate marketing for high leverage recommendations. And finally, the real game changer, digital products, which give you your own high margin business. The beauty of this approach is that when you combine all 3, you stop being just a YouTuber. You become a business owner who uses YouTube as a high powered free traffic machine. And once you see the big picture, choosing your niche becomes the easiest decision you'll ever make. Whether you are at zero or about to monetize, it all comes down to your niche. That choice is what turns a simple hobby into a real income stream. Now, choosing the right niche is the single most important financial decision you'll ever make on this platform. But let's be real, a high RPM niche is worthless if you don't have an audience to watch your videos. That's why you need to click on the video on the screen right now. I'm going to show you the fastest strategy I'm using to hit 1,000 subscribers in record time, even in the most competitive niches. You've got the strategy, now go get the subscribers. I'll see you there.